Hello, and to quote a great film, with no further gilding of the lily and no more ado, let's get straight into it today. We are delving deeper into the framework, and we're going to start off nice and easy with where games are absolutely killing it. And that's in the creative area, and we're sticking with problem solving. A problem solver is someone who tries to synthesize information and knowledge to achieve a solution. That's far too much of a mouthful. Thinking of it simpler, someone who exercises the mind to reach a certain destination. As soon as you hear this definition, you realise we do this all the time and everywhere. But what makes a really good problem solver is that they tend to have much higher tolerance for unwanted outcomes. If I ask you what 2 plus 2 is, we all know the answer to that one now, don't we? That's not a real problem. A real problem is one that involves mistakes and struggle. And this is where most people fall down as problem solvers, because at the first sign of a mistake or a problem, the ego steps in. And the ego steps in to protect ourselves. We start blaming other people so it doesn't feel like it's our fault. We start quitting, not trying, giving ourselves a little mental reason to not worry about it and that it's not going to hurt as much if or when we may lose. And this is where games and sports are so good for problem solving, because you're given a goal, you're given a challenge that you need to achieve, and you'll make mistakes, either along the way or by the end. You'll have lots of unwanted outcomes, and no matter how good you then become at it, you'll eventually lose as well. And if you have an emotional response to these unwanted outcomes, you won't look back on the problems that you face, you won't look back on those challenges, and you won't go back and solve them and get better for next time. They'll be hidden, and you'll still make those mistakes over and over and over again. We're going to finish this video with my top tips on how to become a better problem solver through gaming, and also how this will influence the rest of your life. My first tip is to have fun, and not just fun playing the game. Try and learn to enjoy the challenge of having a problem, because if you enjoy it, you'll stick at it longer, and therefore improve your problem solving skills and also be more likely to solve that particular problem. Transferring this outside of gaming, if you've learned not to link negative emotion to facing a problem, you're far more likely to respond logically and efficiently when you are given a problem to solve. In turn, this means that you will stress less and have a much more positive outlook. Tip number 2, look for problems. Win, lose, live, die, there's always a problem or a challenge that you can find. Maybe you came at the bottom of the leaderboard. What was the main problem that stopped you from being just one place higher? Maybe you won. What was the main problem that meant that you didn't win by an even bigger margin? How this practice helps you everywhere outside of gaming is that it's teaching you to be proactive, to go looking for those problems and to then solve them, and to solve them long before they then grow or become far harder to solve further down the line. Third and final tip is to keep it on you. Loads of our games are spent online these days, and that means that other people have a big influence on how your game goes. It's important that you keep your focus, your attention on yourself, on taking care of the problems that you can take care of, whether they've been given to you by somebody else or not. Because this is going to happen in real life all the time. You are going to get given a problem that is really not of your making, and you have two choices. You can rally against it, you can be negative and therefore not very helpful at that point, or you can keep it on you. You can take responsibility for the problem. You can employ these brilliant problem solving skills that you've developed over your years on the computer and get the job done and be efficient and effective and remove far more obstacles out of your way far quicker than that person who's not willing to take responsibility.